guys, you're choosing it.
Yeah.
You're choosing it.
And all we want for everyone really, truly is just to enjoy as much as you can. It's not going to be 100% of the time, but it can be 90. It can be 90.
Yeah.
And it's just an amazing gift that you should give yourself.
Here's the deal. We're two moms and we popped babies out in our 40s. And it's hard. It was hard.
It's also the best thing that's ever happened to either one of us.
Yeah, but now we're moms in our 40s.
In our 40s.
With preschoolers.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about that.
Let's talk about it.
Let's bring the community together of women.
All the moms, 40, 20.
And also, like, let's just talk about, like, real shit. Real life, real women shit.
Yeah, real women shit. Let's do that.
Shit's hard. And also, it's funny. Life is funny.
Let me just pull my bush out of my bush.
Cheers!
Cheers. Unfiltered.
Because if you want a show, we're a shit show. We're here for you.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, guys.
Welcome.
Wait. Yep. Get it now. Welcome to Maturation Mama.
Woo! Here we are.
Ooh, coming at you live from the Denver, Colorado.
The only street in Thornton that's Brighton.
The only street in Thornton that's Brighton. That is a true statement.
Yep. Here we are. Where we're coming from.
We had a party yesterday for the football team, and we didn't tell them our address. We just told them the street we live on.
So
Good luck.
Guess which Cherry Street?
In all of just come on over to all the Cherry Streets.
One of them will be having a party. Maybe multiple. Maybe you went to someone else's party.
Yeah, I mean, 3 people did show up, 3 families, so that's fine.
Plus
We crushed
us.
it. Plus us.
Because we're not on the football team and we crash all your parties.
Hey guys, we're honorary. We're honorarily here.
We've been adopted into, we're just like the party. We're just part of the decoration. We
Yeah.
come with the party.
Yeah.
You're having a party, we're there.
We're going to be there.
It's just
and
part
it's
of
gonna
the
be
party.
great.
We're the party parters.
I noticed how the baby topper
Yeah.
gives me a little foam sipper.
It does.
That's
going to be
neat.
nice and gassy later. It's going to be awesome.
I hope it hits when the episode's still running. You know what I mean? That'd be the best.
I know. I really might have to take mine off, but
We're trying. We're giving it give it your best shot. Fire away. That was right?
yep.
We're here, you guys, today. Not interviewing.
Nope.
Not interviewing. This is where Grandma Lee is supposed to sit this morning. It's not morning.
No, but it was going to be this morning.
It was going to be this morning.
Yep.
We were planning a really incredible, insightful episode where we were going to interview our 96-year-old grandma. Right. So we left the chair there just to warm our hearts.
Yeah.
Thinking about the story she would have shared with us.
We could share some of them.
We will.
Yeah.
Absolutely, we will.
Yeah, we might as well.
Okay.
But she's not here today because she had a medical emergency that took her to the hospital. She ended up having a major stroke.
Yeah.
And so she's being moved into hospice care today. So we just thought we would talk about it anyways because she's amazing. She is an amazing woman. She's lived an amazing life.
Yeah.
All 96 of her years up until Saturday.
Yeah.
Healthy as a hog or whatever that's.
Healthy as a hog's horse.
Yep. I mean, just amazing. She's walks on her own. She does her own laundry. Does my dad's laundry sometimes. She cleans the house. She makes. I mean, she's just been pretty amazing. So
Lived on her own until just this last month.
Yeah.
Like how many 96-year-olds you know that are also like, and she's also walking to her son's house just.
who lives on the 3rd floor?
Yeah.
Up all those steps. Like
She just gets it.
Yep. So
Doing life. Grandma Leora.
Grandma
we
Leora.
love her so much.
yeah.
So she's not going to be attending today. And yeah, we were just talking about it, you know, and Megan and I so blissfully, Megs was here. Of course she was here. When Gramps had her stroke and we got to be there to respond and help and support her. And Meg's got to be right next to her ear, which I know she just needed you right in those moments just to be telling her what was going on. And then we just, after Megs got back from the hospital, we just started reflecting and talking a lot about life. And that's what we want to talk about today is about life and about finding and choosing to live it in maybe what might provide you a little bit of incentive of like a different way than you might be doing right now. Or maybe you do feel like you're doing life with so much joy in your heart, but that's what we're going to really address.
Yep. I love this.
Yeah.
Because it has been thrust into our life and in our faces very vividly recently. Y'all been around for a while. You listen to some of the previous episodes of, we just had a lot happen, and it has we've already done our best, I think, to really live in a really positive, fun, energetic space anyways. But then the gift that we have been given from all of this is that it really does start to put into perspective priority and importance of lots of things, But what we want to really address and talk about is priority of forgiveness and letting go and letting people do whatever and be whoever they need to be.
Yeah.
And also the non-importance of collecting things in your life instead of collecting moments and collecting memories. Because, we've just been given this gift to see. One of the things that I have really taken away from each of the deaths that have come into my life, and just after the aftermath of that, the visualization that has hit me really hard is going through their things afterwards and kind of summing up their whole life by what is sitting in these piles. And it just is like, it just was really an overwhelming visualization of this is someone's life. All of this stuff was their life. It wasn't, but it is, and it's all their things. But how important it is now for me to even care less about keeping up with the Joneses or whatever that kind of like stigma is, feeling like, oh, I need this. When it's like, I don't need those boots.
I like those boots, but I don't need them.
You know what I need instead is another airplane ticket with my family, or getting out and going to the zoo together, or taking your kids to the children's museum
today
and taking photos and having visual memories instead of tangible things.
Yeah. And it's hit so hard because literally we just finished cleaning out our auntie's house who passed in January. And, days before this, we had, we were supporting the family in any way that we could to assist in the process of selling that home and doing the hard things that you have to do after life here on earth ends. And then moments later, here we are again, right? Where now it's like, okay, next house, more stuff. One. Which is wild to even think about. So as Megs and I were reflecting upon everything, and then she talked about the collecting memories and moments instead of items, I was like, that's so beautifully important, I think. And it's such a great reminder for all of us to maybe, this isn't like a declutter episode that you need to get rid of stuff, but it is how you're placing importance on the things in your life and what you're relying on to bring you joy. When you realize how many different famous people that are extremely wealthy with a lot of shit, they have these conversations of that's not the stuff that brings them joy. It's the people and the experiences and the chosen energy that you decide to be in on a day-to-day basis. Yeah.
And, I think it's been said that when you really, really think about what you are, we trade money for things, right? That's like that. And that's just how our society works. And it makes it so easy just to be like, oh, well, here's $10, here's $100, whatever it is. But when you really think about where that's coming from, that is your time that you spent. And we're really being shown that days, no matter how many days you have, we only have a certain amount. And even with, grandma's 96 years, that still doesn't feel like enough.
Yeah.
And here we are, like even all these other people. So you're paying for all of these things with your time. And when you think about it that way, I think that that's not the way that we want to be spending our life. Mm-hmm. We're not, because that's what you're doing, is spending your life.
Yeah.
And so we just really wanted to kind of, we had this realization together this weekend, and then we were like, we really want to like push that message through for everyone out there, just to kind of I know people know a lot of this stuff, and it's just a nice reminder sometimes without having to have a major event happen in your life. But it's like, yeah,
use ours.
Know what? Yeah,
use ours, because we've got one all the time.
one a month.
What's happening over there in their lives? It's wild.
Yeah, it is wild. Yeah. It really is wild, but it's the journey that we've been on, that we're going on. I'm so happy that I have you to go through it with.
It's absolutely incredible that we get to rely on each other and support each other through these different big moments. And when you look at, our opportunity, we're both so excited. Like, since we decided, it was like last Thursday, we're like, we're going to interview grandma on Monday because that's the day she's going to shower first. So that's how we chose the day, right? So we're like, we're getting all ready. So then after a couple of days ago, events occurred, we're like, okay, well, we get to choose how we show up, and our come from is going to be at that point. And even though we're like, we were really excited to have this nostalgic, beautiful interview of her sharing, because we had just been doing that. We were just playing with the chickies with her, and she was having some great memories, and she was sharing some really good stories, and highly interactive despite the dementia and stuff that she's going through. And we were so excited to do that. But then life led a different direction, and we just thought to ourselves, what, that's okay.
Yeah. So instead of what we thought was going to happen, and instead of taking that as a negative or a disappointment, we kind of looked at each other and we were like, so that was just for us.
That was for us. Yeah.
And that was cool.
Yeah.
That's a memory I will always, always have.
I am extremely grateful, even though I know it's been a hard month, especially on my parents having just being the caretakers as they have been, but to have as many memories as we've got to create, even in just this last month.
Yeah, from her being here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just the day before that, I came home with the kids, from gymnastics or something. I was like, Grandma, get out here on the porch. We're going to play boggle. And she's like, huh? She's like, she had just got inside. I'm like, nope, come on. Get your walker. We're walking on out there and we're playing boggle. And it's the pop, like where you pop it and it's like basically sorry. It's Ninja Turtle style too, so that's super cool. So we put it up on a little thing so she can pop it, and every single time Wynn's like, okay, Grandma, now push it to both hands real hard. Okay, good. And then he like moves her spaces for her, because she didn't quite know. And she's moving backwards and moving the 6 spots at once, and all of a sudden she won. We're like, you did great job, Grandma. And it's like those moments, those minutes that we got to spend instead of focusing on whatever else we want to be focusing on at the time, that's going to be a memory that's just like sealed in my mind, because it's just something we just got to have.
And it's also going to be sealed in your kids' minds. Mm-hmm. It may not have, it may not in their mind have the importance that we know it holds, but they will remember that. Like, remember when Granny was so old and we were playing that game, and that was, or when she was living with us, and that's just really, really cool. And I think just one way to bring it back even into being like what we normally talk about, motherhood. Mm-hmm. I think that we have become a consumer society, and what I am learning, what I am still learning, and what I'm seeing happen in front of me with my own son is that as much as he is like, I want this toy or I want this, we have more fun, more great times, more incredible moments all together as a family, or even just me and him when we're doing things together.
Yeah.
We're painting, we're playing a game, we're going to the park, and we're spending our life that way instead of, because it's so nice to be able to buy your kids whatever they would like, or be able to buy a new toy once a month, or, you know, like what a blessing, what an amazing opportunity to have that part. Because that's not the same for everybody. And it wasn't that way when I was a kid. So it's like, I was kind of tending to lean towards that because it was like, yeah, like I can, so I will. But then when I step back, he doesn't play with most of the crap that we have at the house.
Right.
And sometimes half of it is like, it's broken and I throw it in the trash, or it's like, oh, I forgot we even had this.
Yeah.
And now he's grown out of it. And so now we pass it along. But so I'm really trying to be cognizant of choosing my time spent instead of my money spent.
Well, and you know, we have the love languages, which we should probably just talk about at some point, but that quality of time, even if it's not maybe you are, you know, gifts or services, but like that time, even if it's not your primary language, it shows something huge when you're willing to sit down. And I know, Megs, we've talked about this, like giving the people around you your undivided attention for less time is so much more valuable than being unaware or have a lack of presence on a continual basis. Or like, hey, here's another toy, play with this, play with this. But when they get to play with mom, like when you're going to actually come on the playground with me and do stuff, that's what's going to be sealed in their minds.
Oh, 100%.
100%.
I know, as it's coming out of my mouth.
Day one.
100%.
Can't not say it now.
No.
Can't not.
Yeah, because even me, I remember those times with my parents more than anything else. I don't remember what I got for my 7th birthday, but I remember my dad building us a igloo out of the snow and having like a whole little fort that we'd had for like a week because it was like a legit igloo.
Yeah.
And he spent the time to be outside with us, and we like brought blankets out. And
how cool.
I mean, and my parents were still together, so I was probably 5.
Yeah. And that's just locked in your mind.
It was the coolest thing ever.
That's
ever,
cool.
ever.
I was just going to ask for one of the memories. One that just always pops out in my brain is my dad and we used to go to the lake almost every single weekend. So we had this little spot on a lake, and we were so blessed to be by the channel back in the back of the lake. So it's like this muddy little ditch where we would make like mudslides, like legit mudslides down the mountain, like mud pits that we go in. And there was one time where we had this like dragon raft where it sat like multiple people, and he did this safari voice for, I don't know, an hour-long safari. He's like, and now we're going down the channel and we're going to find some animals and we're going to get them and get them. Like, and it was
awesome.
so, and I'm like, let's go back to the lake and let's do that. Oh, what about our snipe hunting?
Oh, yes. That was one that we have together. It was so great. We also, our families would go to the lake together and camp for like a week, sometimes longer.
Yeah.
But there was probably, there's a pretty good sized group of kids.
Yeah.
And at nighttime.
Best days.
Yeah. So her stepdad and my dad are brothers. And at night, we be around the fire. First of all, always singing. They're always singing.
Yep.
They harmonize and sing these songs. They have like a freaking set list that they do every time they have the same songs, which I love.
Yes.
So they'd sing and we'd roast marshmallows and stuff. And then when it got real dark, we'd go snipe hunting.
Snipe hunting. You guys seen the movie Up?
Yeah.
That's not what a snipe looks like. That's a lie.
It's not even close.
Nope. It looks like a rock.
They would bring...
If your children are around, turn this off right now. Don't let them know the secret of snipe hunting. Okay,
No.
go.
Yeah.
You explain how we did it.
Close their eyes. Close their listening eyes.
Goggles. Get them off. Turn them off.
So they would bring one flashlight, and it would be my dad and Scott and my uncle. They would bring one flashlight, and only the grown-up got to hold the flashlight. And they would go, and snipes were in the trees. So we'd be looking for snipes in the trees, but real fast. And then
Zipping around, zip, zip.
Yeah, something would shake, and they'd look for it, and then it would be like, oh, we just missed him. And then they would find one. They would say, so what would really happen is, so let's say my dad has the flashlight in the front. Scott would sneak to the back and climb the tree and start shaking.
I just thought they threw rocks up there.
They might.
Who knows?
They might have just done a lot of rocks, but I remember someone being up in the tree once. And they had a black trash bag, and throwing rocks, shaking the tree. And then they would throw a rock into the bag and then shake the bag. And we were screaming. And they're like, we got one! Ah! They're running around and we're screaming. And like, because it was kind of like that really excited, scary crap. Because we don't know even what a snipe is.
We're not even sure what's going to pop out of this thing.
I didn't think... I mean, they never told us what a snipe. We were just going.
We didn't even know. Yeah, if it was a bird or a reptile.
Yeah,
or
I kind of thought
fish.
it was like a reptile.
Yeah.
That's what I always like a snake, something, but in a tree.
But
I was
we're gonna catch
scared
one.
out of my mind.
We got one. But then somehow it would get out every time. They would lose it,
and then we couldn't find another one that night.
So the next night we'd go out and do it again.
Yep.
Oh my gosh,
it was so fun.
And this is the thing, you guys, is. So one, focusing on your memories and your connectedness and your willingness to like let go of the shit that doesn't matter. And right now we're talking about like physical shit. We'll talk about emotional stuff in just a second too. But like the physical shit that doesn't matter, like your phone and the latest post or the latest update on ESPN or I don't know, whatever your alerts are going off for. And instead just being right in those moments with your humans is really freaking cool. But that does bring us to, I think that's kind of like what hit Megs a lot with Grandma's situation and what was just like entering my heart at a different level. Again, continuous conversations, stuff that we've talked about before, but knowing that you get to choose what you're carrying around, your emotional baggage that you are walking through life with. And like, I don't want to say stop because I don't want to be lecturing here, but like not blaming other people, but really taking responsibility for, I am choosing to hold on to this. I'll start with a more positive one. Like maybe you're choosing to hold on to perfectionism. You feel like you have to show up a certain way, that you have to look a certain way and act a certain way and succeed, whatever that means to you in different ways, so much so that it's inhibiting your snipe hunting, dragon riding, igloo building experiences because it doesn't fall in alignment with what you think you should be. That'd be a good
I
example.
think so. Yeah. I think that's the one that a lot of people can relate to. I definitely can. There was a time in my life where I was feeling like I needed to show up as a certain way, a certain version of me to be accepted or even like, I think part of that is even letting go of the perception or the perfection of being a grown up. Yeah. You don't have to even show up like a grown up. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like
boring.
Yeah. Sit down and get your face painted in Mexico. Even if you're the only two.
Just still do it and wear glitter.
I don't know who
if
we're
you
talking
want to wear
about,
glitter,
not us.
If you want to wear glitter on a Tuesday, wear glitter on a Tuesday. It's not taking yourself so seriously. I know you did it.
I had to. Yep.
I just gave Megs the example. I was like, you know what? I just did a post about my first pajama set because Megs always wears these super cute pajama sets, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna get one. I'm just gonna see what this experience is about instead of my like baggy ass Snoop Dogg sweatshirt and whatever stuff. So I got my pajama set and then I posted how Megs encouraged me to pop my pajama cherry. And like, if you would have asked me like a year ago, that's something I probably thought I should keep to myself because I didn't want certain people to be judging me a certain way. And now like just stepping in and my 45th year of life being like, I don't have to care what other people think about me. The people who are my people will show up, and the people who aren't my people, like we've talked about in the tribe episodes, aren't going to be showing up for me, and they might not like it. And that's cool because I want to find my humans, not their humans.
Yeah,
you know?
100%.
100%.
Once I figured out that for myself, I heard somebody say this, and I was like, that's now mine. I'm going to say that too. It is none of my business what other people think of me. It's not my business. Yeah. That's your business. And so go ahead and keep that to yourself because it's none of my business.
Right.
So I'm going to be and act and do whatever the heck I feel like doing in that moment. And you know what? Sometimes you do it and you're like, well, that was kind of dumb. But you move on and you keep going and then, maybe just don't do that one again.
Yeah. and that's how we learn, right? Is by trying things on and seeing what it feels like, and do we like that, and do we not like that? And in the same token, and I know this comes back to our community and our tribe a lot, where there might be humans around that it's the same thing. You don't need to worry about thinking about. Don't be wasting your time thinking about how they're showing up different than you. Yeah, not everybody wants to be batshit crazy and wear garland as necklaces. Not everybody does, and that's cool. You don't have to.
Not everybody should.
Yeah,
I mean, it doesn't mean that you're any better, worse, different. I mean, like, we need all kinds of people, and we love all kinds of people. Not everyone has to show up like this for us to care or love or appreciate or accept them.
Yeah,
we love lots of people for lots of different reasons.
Yeah.
So,
then I think, so you're looking at this, that's just one example is perfectionism, but thinking about what you're holding on to. And something that I see a lot is what Megan opened up with today is some sort of anger, some sort of lack of forgiveness in your life that's souring you from the inside out, where you just can't even imagine yourself having the fun, like giving yourself the permission to have the fun. Like, I can't have the fun. I've got to, instead, I have to show up with anger because something happened in my life. We should be angry right now. Grandma's going into hospice. That's not what we're going to choose to embrace as our emotion. And you're choosing to embrace a certain emotion as you walk through life right now, probably predominantly. It could be jealousy or anger or sadness or hopefully for some of us joy, but encouraging you guys to look at that space in your life. Like, is there someone who you feel like they're ruining your life, but you're ruining your life?
You're allowing that instance that we're not saying that maybe something that happened wasn't wrong. Mm-hmm. And that's okay. Like, that's okay to acknowledge that. But at the end of your days, at the end of your time, when you look back, what benefit did that bring you through your life? How did that benefit you? Because really, you are responsible 100%.
100% for real.
For your life, for the way that you live your life. And we all go through instances of all of those things: jealousy, anger, sadness, things that have happened around us in our life, to our people, to us, that constitute those feelings. But the feelings should be passed through, not carried on into everything, because it does start to just be part of everything then. So even at your kid's 7th birthday party, when you're supposed to be having a fun time, you're just kind of feeling angry in the corner, and now, all these kids screaming in your house is starting to really piss you off. And you find yourself yelling to everybody's got to shut up or go home, or, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, even though that's not at all what it is, it's something else. You really have to work through and find out and dig deep in there what it was, where it's coming from. And then you just, for you, let it go, forgive. Doesn't mean you have to bring that person back or doesn't make what they did or what happened to you any less. But we want to encourage you to let that out so that you can let in some happy, some light, some joy, and continue on the rest of your days living in a space of at least contentment instead of anger.
Yeah.
So,
and we're watching Grandma, we're watching what she's going through, and just having this continuous reminder that life is short and our time is borrowed. And that moment when you guys were going, the ambulance was leaving and you're following them in the car, and I'm just like, who has time? Who wants to give their minutes and their hours to something like anger and hatred and holding grudges and just all of those different things? Like, I was like, I don't have time for that. Or how about this one? What the anger and the judgment that you're placing upon yourself, whatever you feel guilty because you should be doing this better, and you should be getting up earlier, and you should be reading more books, and you should be eating more apples, and you should be whatever you think that you should be doing. And then you're beating yourself about, that's almost the worst, right? You beat up everybody else and you might judge everybody else, but then you start judging yourself, and you're spending and really, in my brain, wasting those valuable, precious minutes and moments and potential experiences getting in your own way, worrying again, like it's all wrapped around your ego, worrying about how you think that it should be different, where you can really just decide, I'm going to make this moment different right now. I'm going to have a dance party this afternoon instead. I don't know what day you're watching this, but you're like, you know what? Instead of being all worried about cleaning the house again, or somebody's coming over, or man, I better polish the toilets before they get here. Like I'm actually just going to have a dance party with my kids outside in the sunshine. And I'm going to eat a cookie if I want to eat a cookie, and just be alive and feel what that feels like, with the intentional thought of like, I'm not letting this minute go. I'm not letting this moment go, or this memory go. I'm going to be in it, completely in it.
I love that. Yeah. Be in your moments for sure. And it doesn't mean that you can't make mistakes. Everyone's going to still do that. I do it all the time. And I just think that one thing that I learned, that I just try and, help other people around me, especially, is that when I do make a mistake, I just own it. And even to my 3-year-old, I'm sorry. And I just say, I'm sorry. When it comes to a place when when I'm at that moment and I am feeling sorry, even I'll tell Cass, I'm sorry, mommy handled that way. That wasn't fair. That wasn't the right way to do it. I'm going to try to do it better next time. Or to my husband, gosh, sorry, like I snapped at you for no reason. I'm just realizing that I'm, sad about my grandma or whatever it is. And that came out to anger at you. And that it's not you. Or sometimes it is you, but
yeah. But you know what?
But I'm not going to try and snap at you about it.
Being able to have those conversations and knowing that someone else shows up like that makes it so much easier to feel like you can communicate and face like that confrontation moment, where it's like, I am going to own, and my kids and I talk about this all the time, because blaming is one of my biggest pet peeves. It's like, don't blame whatever you want to blame, the other people or the world or the weather or the whatever. Like, we just take ownership. So knowing when you have a friend who does take ownership and you're able to communicate so much clearly together, and or a spouse and your kids, I just think that really creates more opportunity for more joy, because just like you said, Megs, you don't want to, you said it so perfectly, with our emotions, you want to move through them instead of them carrying them with you. So that helps you and supports you move through it and move on.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I think if I remember from 1996, I don't even know if that
sounds right.
No, it was not. It was 1987, maybe 88.
You were almost a decade off. I don't even know what you're about to talk about. Good job.
I think it was Milli Vanilli who famously said, "Blame it on the rain." Yeah.
I was upset though. I was
upset. I still am upset.
I had to move through some emotions. And then Megs, we talked about this recently, because we talk about weird shit all the time. And we were just like, you know what though? I don't care if they lip sync. I liked them, and I liked the production, and I liked what there was. Like, why did we have to just push them out of the famous world? They were great.
They were fantastic.
Bring back Milli Vanilli.
Bring them back.
Bring it back.
Bring it back. Millie, we're going to vanilla you back into the
vanilla on in.
Yeah, because I agree. Why do we care? Like, I mean, if the people who were singing didn't want to be out there, but Millie and Vanilli did, and they were dancing it up,
and they
had all the cool moves.
Yep.
And they were, ready. They were great lip syncers.
They were super good. And I'm not, like, you guys try to do voiceovers on Reels ever. Like, it's not that easy. And they just did it with they did it.
They fooled everybody.
Yeah. Again, like, why? Like, this comes back to the judging and choosing it. What?
And then I just thought, I was like, but wait a second, because even nowadays, I feel like most of the live music, they're lip syncing their own songs. So why does it matter?
Not only that, but there's voice tune for everything.
Auto tune.
You're using it. You're doing it up. So it's more about like the end production. What do you enjoy and what do you not enjoy? We're off track, and I like it. I do. It's great. So
sorry, my bad.
I know, I like it. I was thinking about today's episode, and we've talked about Bye for Now, where we really did discuss the challenges of death with our children or just with our families and moving through things. And this is all about high for now. And not just because 420 is coming up, because that's not our cup of tea, but but high for now, like high to life, like saying hello to each day and
Showing
each
up.
moment and each memory. Showing
up high to life,
High for
not
now.
high to
No,
life.
high.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
For life.
Or like Cass, hello.
Hello.
Hello to wife. Hello to wife.
This is it.
Yeah. So
And-
show up, be there, be present, be about it, and be yourself.
Yeah.
We always say.
We that's what we say. So we were just observing people, I think, as we're moving through these spaces, and just observing some people just that have been around us for the last 48 hours. And you can tell when people are harboring something that's not serving them versus having fun and enjoying the moments, and then not coming from a space of judgment for us, just really observation of the unhappiness that ends up seeping out when someone's just like, man, I wish that I could do that, or I would want to do that, but I can't because I have to show up for like a certain way, to look a certain way, to keep up with the Joneses, all the stuff that we've talked about. And I think it'd be interesting for you guys in your life, not only to do some personal observation of when you feel like you're living in your most authentic person, choosing joy in the moments and making the memories, versus doing things and coming from a space of I have to, or I should, or it needs to look like this because that's just what I've been taught, or what's engraved in my mind. And instead, right, catching yourself in those different points and moments, catching yourself in the moments of anger or jealousy or hatred or lack of forgiveness, and be like, do I really want to harness this energy? Is this really what I'm going for? If I've got 2 more weeks, I don't know how long you got 2 more years, you got 2 more decades, or how long you've got here. Is that what you want to be stepping into and holding on to? Because you get to make that choice. That's really what wrap it up. That's what today's about.
Wrap it up. Put a bow on it. Stick a fork in it.
Stick a fork in your hair and your bow.
Yep.
Wrap it.
Your what did Ariel call it? Her dingle hopper.
Dingle hopper.
Yeah, I ditto.
And there it is. So, Megs, since we're not interviewing Grandma,
Yeah.
and we had a couple of different stories we were going to have her tell, will you just tell us about her dancing when she was
Yeah.
a little youngie?
Yeah. So
Talk
first
about
of all,
life, you guys.
No.
Born in
This lady-
1928.
1928. The day after Christmas.
Think of all the things this woman has seen, you guys.
Yeah.
Been born into the Depression.
Yeah.
And then all the World Wars and the Vietnam War and the hippy dippy flippy stuff.
She's seen all kinds of things, man. Lived through it all. And I'm going to, first of all, Leora was a cutie. Like, she was so
Teeny tiny bitty
cute.
bopper.
I know. And she's had like the same cute little haircut her whole life. I feel like it's just been short and curly. And she's a pretty short little lady to begin with. But gosh dang, when she was young, she was so cute. She grew up in Iowa, pretty sure.
Iowa.
And her parents, you're like, I wonder if she was. I don't know.
I was going to try to do the Music Man right there, but then I forgot.
Oh, it's Oklahoma, but you were saying Iowa.
No, Indiana is the first. Nope.
Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana.
Not going back to Maine.
Okay. So anyways, her parents owned a restaurant, which was pretty cool. And they lived above the restaurant, I believe.
Which you only see on movies. I only see on movies.
I know, right? Her life was like a little movie.
It was.
And so they used to have, she was young, like in high school and teens. And they had these dances all the time in Iowa. I guess that's what you did when you weren't working. You went to the dance. So she would
what
work.
I want to be doing.
Yeah, she would work in her parents' restaurant, and then her and her dad would go to the dances, and she would dance all night long, come home, change, and work again at the restaurant. Like all day. I don't even know what she was doing. She was probably doing a little bit of everything. but she would dance all night with her dad, which I think is just so cute.
So precious.
Yeah.
Talk about making memories and choosing to be in the moments. I really think about coming right back to the technology conversations we have recently had, and like how much life they got to have because they weren't watching other people do their lives.
And also,
That's so cool.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I also believe that sometimes because of the technology and the influx of information we're given, it's like the weight of the world is on us all the time because we know everything bad that's happening everywhere. They had a newspaper that would come to their house that had
choose to easily not read because it was black and white, didn't have barely any pictures. Like what do you want?
I mean, but that's how they got their information, and it was mostly what was going on in their part of the world, their town, their city, like not even the state next door, unless it was a really, really
not
big
even
story.
Gary, Indiana.
Not even Gary, Indiana.
Not even if the Music Man was coming on through. They didn't know.
Yeah, until it got there.
Yeah.
So I think that has also changed a lot, but. Things were just a little bit easier in that way and a little bit more innocent.
Yeah, but so much harder though too. Like what the worldly experiences that they did have to or get to overcome is, I mean, that to me in a grand scale is so much more challenged than like all we got to do is fucking look up, like pull your phone out of your face. Turn the TV off, walk outside, get some fresh air. And they were just like trying to survive all of it, but dancing the night away at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. 100%.
Because 28, 38, 40, I mean, so this was in like 1945 that she was
in the 40s.
Yeah. That she was going and doing
dancing.
That's so incredible.
I know. And I do just want to say that one thing about my grandmother that I really want to emulate and remember about her and try to be more like is not one time ever in my life can I recall her raising her voice in any way, even or even feeling anger from her, even when I probably deserved it.
Even when you had your telephone bill.
Yeah, even when my sweet Aunt Vicky got my sweet Grandma Lee a cell phone, and my grandma let me use it, and I racked up all the minutes on it because I didn't realize.
Back when you paid for minutes.
Paid for minutes, and on the big old Nokia, and I like racked up a $200 bill, and she just sat me down. You know what? There was nothing that we couldn't figure out together over a piece of toast and a cappuccino in her kitchen. She would always sit down, make you some toast and a cappuccino. Her cappuccinos were just like hot water and the powder that
it was it the little square ones, like the Swiss Miss square?
She
right,
had those.
That was so good. I'm really learning.
I know.
This
just make a square
cappuccino, and that'll.
But yeah, she had those a lot. I can't. Oh man, I can't remember, but I want to because it's like I can totally see the tin. And then she upgraded to one of the big, like when they started actually making like cappuccino powder.
Yeah,
and it was like a big tin. But yeah, she would make toast and a cappuccino, and we'd sit down and talk about what was going on with like what was happening. Like, hey, Meg, you racked up this bill of $200. We've already taken care of it. I'm gonna need my phone back.
Can't do that again, honey.
Yeah,
you can't.
So that's it. And there was never, ever one time, ever once in my entire life that I can recall a time of her being angry at anybody, yelling.
Yeah.
I mean, the only time I ever heard her yell.
Can't wait.
Oh my gosh, this is a funny story. So I heard my grandma, her voice yelling one time in my life, and I was living with her in my mid-20s, early 20s actually, it was my early 20s, and I'm dead asleep. It's the middle of the night. It's the like black as blackout. And of course, because I'm in my mid-20s and I'm like talking on the phone all the time.
Yeah.
She had a cordless phone and I have it in my room, in my bed.
Yeah.
With me because I mean, what if somebody calls me in the middle of the night at my
you gotta be
grandma's
ready.
house? Yeah. I'm dead asleep, like black, midnight. And I hear her screaming like, ah! So I'm like, oh, what? Like somebody's in the house. Like, you're an emergency. I can't find the phone.
Yeah.
I come out. She's in the kitchen with the sliding glass door, screaming out the door. And she shut the door and locked it. And I was like, Grandma, what's going on? She's like, call the police. And I'm like, I don't know where the phone is. So we're like pushing the button to find the phone. And I find the phone. At this time, we had calmed down a little bit. And she's like, don't call 911. It's not an emergency. Just call the regular police number. Who has that? So now we're looking for that in the white pages or whatever
Call
it is.
911 and ask them what the number is
Can you
for the
call-
police.
So I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah.
She's like, somebody was looking in my window.
I had a peeping Tom.
She had a peeping Tom. Someone was in our backyard looking in her bedroom window. This little 5'1" something, soaking wet, probably 100 pounds, decides to get up out of her bed,
Open the door.
come to the back door, open it, and scream at them. Not any words, just blood curdling screams. And then closes the door and locks it. They did run. That scared them.
Oh my gosh. Tactics from a grandma.
So we called the police. They came. They were like, wait, what happened? So,
yeah. Tom was over here peeping on in. Grandma screamed his head off. He left. He ran.
Just straight up. That's pretty good.
That's the sound of the police.
Whoop, whoop.
That's the sound of the police. Oh, Grandma.
Yeah, and then later on, we kind of were like, oh, I wonder if it was Kyle. Was it you, Kyle?
Just go ahead and tell us. You know what? We can be straight about these things.
Oh, right.
Oh, man. And I think I want to wrap up today by reminding you guys, when we're talking about living life and letting go of these emotions that aren't serving us, that really you do have to know when you need to sit down with a piece of toast and a cappuccino to work through those different emotions, so you're not just harboring them, and you allow for the opportunity to let go. And that doesn't mean you necessarily have to sit down with a piece of toast with your enemy. You might have to sit down with a piece of toast and cappuccino with yourself, because you might need to figure out, like, why am I holding so tight to this? This person's not even in my life anymore, and I'm just gripping it, burning my own hand with this fiery hot coal I want to throw at them. And just address things, whether it's in person with them or just with yourself, so you can let go, so you can seek out the fun, so you can start to step into your truest, authentic inner child who just wants to play. Your being, your little inner being, the little girl that lives in you, or the little dude, like, they just want to play. And we forget the art of play often as adults. And life it's short. We've talked about it. It's short. It's borrowed. What would happen if you just played a little bit more? I know.
I do know what will happen. And it's incredible. It's an incredible, incredible gift to give yourself. It's just, there's nothing better that you can do for yourself. And then in turn, that turns into everyone else who's around you. Because really, this is it. This is it. That what you're doing this day, this moment, this hour, these culminations of minutes that you live your life, this is it. This is your life. And there will come a day, if you're lucky and you're old and you get to look back and you'll say, God damn it, I'm so happy. I'm so happy I got to live my life that way. I'm so happy I forgave all those people. Because this is it.
And you guys, you're choosing it.
Yeah.
You're choosing it.
And all we want for everyone really, truly is just to enjoy as much as you can. It's not going to be 100% of the time, but it can be 90. It can be 90.
Yeah.
And it's just an amazing gift that you should give yourself. Because more than anyone in this whole world, even anyone, even your children, you matter. Like, you do. And you should matter most to you too. So give yourself that gift, because it's incredible. Oh, I know, gosh.
I think guys, we love you. That's what you need to walk
That's
away
why
with.
we show up every day and act like fools and try and talk to you about these things, because really, we're all love. We all come from that same love, light. And so you are a part of us and we are a part of you, and we want you to have just the best freaking life that you can have. So we love your guts.
We love you guts. Bye for now.
Bye for now. Hi. Hi for now. Show up.
We love you.
Thanks for joining, and don't forget to subscribe and, of course, share with your friends. Guys, that's how we impact more lives. All right, see you next time.
Jeez, girl. You got me feeling.
I didn't
all
realize
of the
it was
things.
just gonna hit like that all of a sudden.
Oh, I didn't even
Gosh.
look at you, and I could just feel all. I was like, "Whoa, we're going in to ourselves right now."
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, because shit, it's what I got to do too. Like,
I know.
this is like,
You can tell it is
this
like
is
when
bringing
we're
some things up for
Yeah.
you. Grandma passing is not just grandma